ya obi menu elmenchen David Tamaklo enso so elmenchen pay minimum edi enkomo Dave
minio
ishache
what you quite ba na
say meti say oni ya moko kwa meti ye menka say me de maso eneti ye and say omo boa me so me boa
we are not in sunsun
ampa me koku
oni ya
ko hu mani so ade ka ko hwe mani so ade ka me hu ya wo homo bia na mo VVIP
areas
wo no say
your class
class
yes baby did the rock as the bad
Rock City
ho
de depo
ho na wo no
o nye me meet me at now na nye ho na me obet ho ede mi ko hwe mani so ade kakra mi ko na
but o here ya bet me was here ya ho
ya bet me o say hu o mampanyi o hu baby o mampanyi o de o hu bet me hu ya o
okay ya na ko ne the year
the last time I went to Kwe was 2010 and it was courtesy of my good friend who celebrated his birthday yesterday, Honorable Julius Debra. And I said at a point, no, Ghana Tourism Authority chief executive. Ntinimre so no say Accra is too hot. Ntimimre na mehwe what happens in Kwe. I just am coming certain and having been there since 2010 for Easter no.
Okay.
So may those who hold those mischief have it in their mind that I haven't been there at the time now I'm called Krana Rock City in here. So your mischief and your intent.
I know somebody said me na me kokai.
Men can me more
baby out here there boss
but if the car fits you
say come one bottle baby out free.
Well them say me say you made the intimate disclosure.
But now my opinion.
Yes, but that one is a public knowledge.
Yes,
and
of course. No man penny.
My opinion at 12 club 1 a.m. now. I know day.
Yeah. Bibia the day.
Oh, nyame da Roma.
Okay.
Yet me aba better ha dey na eja. E dey ase dey be my PC. My boy ho ban na odi akona odi aba. Enye obi a na nya ne sa.
Ile bi hu sensem ewo yapono so na pay. KNUS hu sensem ewo yapono so na pay. Ene akatua ye dey MRC ne allowances ne no ye dey ema wo mo. Ano ene ye discuss it. But even with these three issues, is there any matter you felt this morning should have occupied our minds? Want to say yeah, can now you want to mention? Yeah.
Ebi me kan actually for na any ahwefo nyina na koso aka say my Ghana ye dey ayewa no no.
Yeah.
Ti e bompa ya yenka o man no anamo bi anamo ntu bi ebetu bi an so yenye den yenka ya o man na asundwi san say oba de say mu aye den mu nye den asundwi wo ma ye nyina ebetimi aye kakra na ye ho ato. Same I think say issues in the doors but ba kwa mefa aka ho asem ene galamsey enra anasa 3 days ago or so Cocoa board omo management any board omo ko share minerals commission edi nkomo fa kwan ombefa so a ombetimi abre anasa ombetimi amagalamsey no ano abrase isanse omo gidi se vado omo bo 3 regions omo bo western region Asante region and I think central region as a region simiensa galamsey assay over 19,000 hectares of cocoa farms. They are serious. And the minerals commission it will be here. Cocoa board for now so it will be here. It says so be cocoa ni na ni cocoa no a feeling na kunya 1 Ghana cedi. Na galamsey operator we na okase mema 10 Ghana cedi. The likelihood is all best swap the cocoa asase for galamsey operation no is as high as anything. Yema motivation for cocoa farming no enkosoro send a better amount for desire to give it to galamsey operators. However it is no as essentially share wo ha betimi ama a destruction of our forest land and farming lands be as and we should step it up say obi efa kwambone so a ebetimi emra betimi no adina yetimi go into the production it sounds like some de bia yeka we all know your friends say the effect of galamsey. Your water bodies are not okay at time and I am quite your quite full. You could draw the higher, you did control high. Now they are sense to no one.
Yeah.
And no, yes, I'm from so now. Over now on swinging, I say, Ubu.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds the chemicals, and these chemicals, you know, you know, and more galamsey. And there be a me some will say, Omodo do I say, Okuma has say.
True.
Omodo do I say, Intia, ye ma or more, say any packet one, I say, or mine a japade. And from the way things are going there, of course, effort has been made over the past years to make sure say galamsey operations are performed. But some say you're not careful and to 2 years more year. A bear crano, na importance you. A bear crana importance you. Enti anamobia, you'll be a bit me, I be ama ya brain aseno. Into sana mono. Obia and say mining should be stopped. No. But I say yo kwampaswa. South Africa and other countries, they are doing mining. But other than I the end there, I say ye japade, I say ye so, as I say ye dosu didi, I say no, I say ye cocoa farms, nenema. Into Yanshe, say cocoa board for Minerals Commission for Ministry of Lands, Omunina, and team up together, as the case appears to be. Na ye nyam for so papa and for free, so it sounds a idea. A yard depa. A yard depa cra. Tell us me the best here say.
Dave.
Minua. Nenanka. Minua ekano asema okanke asema ehiame pa se bet. Ntumi kan ho asem bebre. Eni se me ko kan ho asema be sai asem. Galamsey asemi. Ye di kan ho asem bebre bra ba ya na yenya hu se aban panyifo bebre etitaichi ya mana ayi mo mana kosu because government buy no muka so mo ye already su galamsey ama ye water bodies ayi
yeah
because ye no yenya hu bebre galamsey sisi akodru there were evidences, allegations and all that say aban panyifo ya mo be free friends aban tinabia Plaza House nya account enti eno me nko ho bebre de me pese me quickly me ka hia me ni BBC report bi omo aye over MCNRA on the clampdown on media freedom and free speech in Ghana.
Okay.
I think we are journalists and it must be of concern to all of us. Some of the issues are more raised. Issues are we follow them. I have been a victim, so I know exactly what the picture is. But it's anytime you hear it, it's still scary. It's still a cause for concern. Say, your mind. Na yeji kabina mi kabia tum say eye ekwanya e wo say e faso di bo man na nyoma sa e kosu say nsentrefo any omo ekasafa e friends nsentrejuma no so media platforms no entimi enka kasa without intimidation, without being victimized, and which has put media freedom and free speech under threat. It cannot be, it has never been said a country where media freedom and free speech has been under threat. The country sought to develop. They have never developed and they have never done it. And it's even worrying is the fact that our president, Nana Akufo-Addo, was in opposition years ago, has been said to be a crusader of free speech and free speech. And it's so worrying that under his tenure as a president, we have recorded some of the worst performance in the world as a country which free speech is under attack. Like I said, I've been a victim. I've known a lot of people who are victims, but when you listen to the figures over and over, it serves, it sends shivers down your spine. We all aware, say, Yenua, Ahmed Salih.
Is it Swali or something?
Ahmed Swali, sorry. His death is still a mystery. Not a mystery because the murderers have not been identified. Where still, when people very close to this government have made some sort of admission or have made admission which some to suggest who the killers are. It's a very worrying situation. The government should not think that because the Ghanaian media have been quiet on this, it's a matter that can be swept under the carpet. We cannot accept that in this 21st century, since media can violently be attacked, and we all sit down here and pretend nothing is happening. It is a matter that must be of concern to every department of this country, the media, the police. I have heard, of course, the two notorious instances in our laws, be the Criminal Act 1960 and that of the Communication Services Act, making provisions. The police have said in their defense that there are provisions in there that allows them to arrest, to criminalize the work of a journalist. And I think that if that is the justification, we must take steps immediately to remove those, as cancers from our laws. It is a cancer, and we cannot let it be there. The efforts must be made as soon as possible to remove those provisions in our law, to allow the media to work freely and to help the country to grow. So, that's what I have to say.
All right. Answer the question. I Kai say, I was here Mexico from English in the Maya because friends say, Dave, I'm a pay open.
Mexico from English. You haven't.
What in your kind? Oh, man in Jemu.
What in your kind?
Oh, man in Jemu.
But how can you say you have Mexico from English?
Yes, I say, yeah. E-levy, I want to say, 3 members of parliament at the Accor court seeking an injunction against the e-levy and its implementation from the 1st of next month. Banner headline, e-levy has taken off. And is that not the headline?
Yes.
Yes. And a penny debate as to whether e-levy is in effect or is not in effect. Men found chassis plus headline.
Worse, I mean, and say yes, somewhere November when kind of Rata call Mbashebajum present a budget for 2022 financial year. Among the issues raised or among the issues were e-levy. The budget itself, as a government financial policy for the year 2022, was accepted. So it means that e-levy in principle was accepted.
Yes.
And I so aim say what we need no obeko committee so that they look at anamontu nketenkete bi na nhihye nketenkete bi so that ye de ye adwuma ebema your friends say ye nyina ye hu adwuma potia ye de ye and also a core committee level of course there was division because committee no mo ye ni pam so mo ye 25 out of 25 no emu du mienu e ka so omo nte ase and edu mienu ka se omo te ase and so chairman of the committee in the person of Koku Kwate Honorable so award the right to decide and nyame adom or decide say or decide say e-levy should pass jo mo fro no mo ba mrahye badwam ankasa de beto omo de omo report beto mrahye badwam back and forth they sebi with respect to everybody and they are emfata mrahye badwafo ebededi kasa ene se ne omusi etu ohwa na mo na enya ade efata the menti me ho ase bebre in fact it divided the political and then your friends say the civilian population as far as whether or not it should be passed or it should not be passed because me gidi say na your friends said the needed public education no na shared and course through ye the back and forth ni nyina na chi no in the end parliament ejitu mu and once a parliament ajiatu ma ba be yemra no se na yemra no kire no se bibia parliament ejitu na ba be yemra esese o mampanyin de ne sa hyase nto mampanyin de nsa nya hyase ewie a effectively no yemra nti ade aka na se da be na this amra no be and I remember so obekaya right to information you passed on somewhere 2019 or so, but almost postponing the implementation to 2021. And effectively, no, yeah, the ababe tuja. Nti akase that's say na be sha say nti akase o court akwa stop it implementation. Effectively, what are you saying? Emran, of course, I'm sure David will be in a better position to tell us more because of his understanding of the law. And this is your friend saying majority's position say she say ni na ye wie o mampanyene de nsa ahase enti emra no wo ho enti afi na wo court aka say court emra na aban court nsa sign na and then the minority are in court wo share press conference or moye chairman Sabon say there are still procedures. You can still come by a motion to overturn the decision that the House has already made. You can do that. But you decide as an Obeko court. And going to the Supreme Court, we are going to seek interpretation of the Constitution. And the burden of proof will also be on you. Who are they called court? And I'm asking, you say the challenge the NDC have in the person of Ablakwa, Haruna Idusene, Ayarega. And honestly, I don't know whether there's a game being played or whether an impression is being created. Something, because this whole thing looks funny to me. Court no more corner. Same, can you use video evidence to back a proof, especially with numbers? Say if I say Nipa 2000, and I say them has a and Nipa 2000, and Brandon say you be 2 and more be you be here 1,000 to make that decision. And decision now you are making that side decision now you. Now you are not going to court to say Nipa na omu share omu de sam brand buy and I said omu making side decision they were not up to 1,000 with video.
Also, Parliament is a house of records. One no more at the time, no more votes. Parliament would capture the Hansard would capture them. And
no, Hansard no. Every point in time, no Hansard no. Capture your friend is saying members present. But say there's a boycott. There's a boycott. Would the Hansard be able to capture? Say at the time now you put two questions and you see, of course, this whole thing, politics and it is game and tricks and everything is part of it. Because I say, you can't members in the chamber at the time the decision was made, a question was put now. It doesn't matter, say, okay, say no, and also okay, say yes. Once you are present in the house, it means that we have half of the house.
But is that not the argument that came earlier?
No.
What's it earlier?
The earlier argument was that your friend is saying the number present were not up to half. And they were not up to half because at that time, but the contention that the majority is holding now is that at the time the question was put, for instance, there were some NDC members who were still in the chamber, though they were walking out. So that's the question people are asking, say, okay, so does your presence, even though you say on TSA, but once you are exiting the house, does it constitute a presence in the chamber? I'm sure the Supreme Court is good, of course. I mean, the Biameka said, Adia bia ebema o minor tumpon ebema ntiase ye adwuma na ebema ye mra no ntiase bam no same obia etu saa na mo na mene na ya adwen because obakai ye share your constitution we as in 1992 okay say MPP court over media coverage and they were not getting a fair media coverage from the state media.
I remember.
Yes, I think Peter Alajete and Nana Akufo-Addo and others were the lawyers. Omuko and the Supreme Court no ka say when it has to do with fair coverage, GBC and GTV or money option.
Yeah.
So NDC 30% at that time because they were in government. 30% I saw my opposition party no bear 25% in order of numbers. So that they all know say the coverage we deserve no yenya. Until And abo my Ghana. Now there's no issue about say MPP or power, and so they have to get everything GTV. No. NDC, MPP, everybody is entitled to a certain portion. And to me abuama yaba bedrusa baby ayedrusi here. And e-levy, and still why the NDC is fighting it. The other time I made a statement here. Say President Mahama, former president, and potentially the new or the next NDC presidential candidate, in an event so obey president. Nti obeka say your friends say a tuana yenye free and a sikana yenye free e-levy no. Maybe just maybe a raw figure, maybe 10 billion, maybe 20 billion, or maybe 15 billion. Given situation all face at the time of waba power no. Ujibi se obenya akukuduru aka se sika we yempe. There are instances, and you see, and it goes to tell the hypocrisy of the political class. Samuel Kai VAT Kumi Preko nipa se ne uye 4 or 5. Okay, communication service tax. Okay, ESLA tax. National health insurance.
Yeah.
Of course, and yet for by the policy of government. So me sani ama we nyina no. Check it. VAT nipa enan o say num ene wuye. In the end, the MPP buy no. Omoto VAT ni mo. Communication service tax. President Mahama, Haruna Idrisu, and few others at that time very outspoken about the communication service tax. Omoba no communication service tax no ena yede jidane sa nema no. Asla no ena energy levy we say no ena say aboama your friends say obetimi aka say some form of stability about within the energy sector, even though it's still been messed up. It's been messed up more or less. It was the ba na yaka say ye we are. They say get fund ye de ba yaka say ye de boy education. Oh. Etimi aboa.
Yeah.
And there's no way, and I always say it. Yes, General Mosquito has made a comment say NDC won't be here free. But sometimes you might hear it from Papa no betina konwa no so no. Ohun se ne ade no sihye for her. But what tinche, because you think say you can just make a loose political statement to get a certain backing, then the chino aba catch say, oh, na yenim say na sitie. We are used to all those things.
Yeah.
Oh. And I think we need to move on.
Right.
We need to move on and then see say no e-levy na ye dey aba no, because of course impression has also been created say everything happening in Ghana no with introduction of e-levy, with implementation of e-levy no, a lot of the issues will be resolved. Into your expectation, and it says, sir, your friends say, GDN or Moma Yano, and Yaho. Now, Enconco Basse, Dutch, and I say, a Chinebino, ye barbe casse, a Yehunian can I say, and I say, no. It's answer, ye de a tour, any boomer, a Maya Hurrah. Then I cost I can say, eh, or my idea, eh, or move to Pono. Apart from Sabia, yede emra a year, Juana, yet a 20 a busa mining in a.
Yeah.
Almost all the developed countries, yet a 20 busa mine. And to say, bet me a name so on my Ghana, it means that we should be prepared, or we should prepare to pay. Of course, send a kind of forata ya or can rebiano. Sami Mikura 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now, a buy so beji mo 3,000. Would you say, Yamide? And Yamide. And you'll be at the so bit you at all. But a year and they say, you bet you at 1 year home for swear a what one or so. Social services, ABI electricity, Yensu, Nesania marketing, kitting, no. Sania marketing, kitting, no. You better, you be who say, for so, abaso. But say, you bet you at 2 na maybe a jina de, and no de. Enya dia ebebo ye nyina nti aban me hu mfaso a eba e-levy so aban me hu ne ye de e-levy ne be na fe amanfo nya nkranhye amonfo mo hu hyem
Dave e-levy
Good morning once again. Sami, any minua, yaw. Say, yaw eka sembi, I would like to draw attention to it. Or no, oka say, I say don't catch oka say, omo ni party eba power cancel 11 no. No see a loose political statement. I think say it's a little unfair. I don't think he set enough ground to say that, but that's just my observation with that.
Okay.
Sami, we are not supposed to be a fascist state. Enye omanya obietimi sorry just because a man for na man to me no. Omutimi ye di omupe. Say obia asema oka na say obia adwin kire enhia na yebe use the state powers edi apushi bibia ye pebia adamu opposition adamu media and for the want of word to lord it over everyone. That is not the country we are. We are a country of democracy, a country that is practicing democracy. And what democracy means is clear to all of us. Your Mrapon 1992 constitution, a guarded the it is all of mine. It is not in anybody's bosom. Say, Obet Soriaka say, Mraya, the pese ye no, ye. Inti levy in sema a course of parliament. Ibra sati a course in no. And we knew what have been done enye and I ain't here saying ka esi. To the point parliament purported to have passed levy and so-called assenting by the president. There have been clear controversies around it. And some of the minority members echo court. Yeah, I believe the case is to be heard on the 4th of May. From all those things that have happened, we are all aware, the law allows it. Okan Yemrapono, I think Article 2 or so, Okanya, Repefe say, Bibi, Echi Obiadri, and five Mra, a debu man, one. Nipano Etimiko Supreme Court for interpretation. And that is what I think, minority for no are siki. And of course, Munua Eka said there are processes at World Parliament or say in Kamwezi. Say, who call a memoir, say the San Newman in the ma who can say, obitimi exclusive process, no, so called processes, no, a call a friend say, Supreme Court, no, in our soon church, more, many honti to me and coho. But a dear minority for an air, say, I mean, any controversy about levy passage, no, say they are buying and majority, or try, say, push you with numbers, well, not with numbers, but more or less impositions and all that. How it went through Parliament. The very day they were purporting to have passed this levy. You might see here, a minority for any challenges here. There was no proper quorum to do to cast the vote they casted to pass the levy. Those are all known to all of us. It is not for anyone to be using words like it's too late and all that to push us to say because there have been some form of implementation which is also an issue anyway. So we should all accept e-levy has been passed. Things must be done in a proper way. That is what democracy stands for. And if anybody feels that things are not being done in a proper way, it is not for anybody to carry arms against anybody. It is for us to all share our opinion and go to the proper institutions which have the mandate to explain this thing to the understanding of all Ghanaians. So what minority have been doing, particularly the majority leader, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, always trying to use his words and stuff to intimidate everybody as if, you know, I mean, we are not in a fascist state, and they must not make it look like we are living in a fascist state that the people who have been given power, the authority to rule, can't just bamboozle everybody and do whatever they like. We cannot allow that. If we allow that, that means, you know, we are not being governed by laws. And so it must come clear to the majority, the government, and all those who support them, that it is not, you know, it can't be part of their wishes that we should allow them to do what they want. We are in a country, except, you know, to see, they want us to believe that, you know, they are more human, they are more Ghanaian than everybody. We are all in this country. We all have been through the schools, and we have been taught what democracy is. We've been taught what the roles we have to play in our democracy. So they should stop making it look like they are more human than any other person. To what the minority is doing, I think that, again, it's another test for the Supreme Court. Say, omube court nsem na omohu uko street no so now be some majority of Ghanaians about e-levy. Your guess is as good as mine. The ombe cultural for e-levy no. Say abanye ka say yafa COVID abehaye Ukraine any Russia abehaye nti amanu mo ayedi nti o say amanfo atwa tasa. Then the question will be say who are would free money? What amanfo atwa sika amount free? Say fast spending never ye mputu ejuma wo amanu mo ayedi amawa ye aye steam free edi adofu ye aye team free edi aye kayayi ye aye team free anam ewiem aye driving aye aboso kanfo ne ayi fo nyina no ye na amamu nya di mai. So you see, this whole thing about collecting tax to use by government, it's a quid pro quo. It's an econo. Yeah. Say amount for amount scar to a tax the amount. Say fire mpuntu juma. This oye mpuntu juma. What it does and say a society a cost through kakra a boa omo juma no so amo juma akoso. Ti wo sre scan say wo madwuma ekoso nti muntu awe a eya na nta anya dim bebre na say ukọ e discan ma sky ye to tasa e di ma eni de wuji e wo busuam e wo e di mu nyina e di ma na hu de odi be ya na e di this is the kind of controversy that comes around say o be stress say enter emphasis can be ma. This is the controversies that come around it. The rejection of the e-levy by the public. It's a testimony of how bad this government has managed this economy. It's a testimony of how they have mismanaged every step of affairs in the country. That they have taken so much loan and haven't been able to develop the country. That they haven't been able to do the basic things that people need to, for their businesses to thrive. The rejection of the e-levy is a testimony of it. And it is painful. Say, instead of, eating their humble pie, trying to reverse some of the things that we are seeing. Now, omo etuegu yenim say, mu pekra yebeye, mu po yebeye na tumenu ye na ewo yensem. Yanti ye party kra na edi e-levy cake edi aye party. Say ye ti ho omampenye ti bia ye si se de beya omampenye benya asundwe edi abo ma nenti. Edi abo man nti ye man baby no ntina o man for nsika ye tutu edi stars ye tutu no ye fan bo man no nti o man panyin ko tina baby na sumunjo no eho e na o man panyin edi aye baby a ne ba eye wedding eye ayifro na ukọ omam ko ayifro no ko hu de esi wo ho a esewani ense so o ka kire na o ye san nyoma we na o ba amanfo ho. Say muntu tas ema ye na mfa mbo man. Who should take you serious? So who exactly should take you serious?
Is there Dave? Is there anything wrong so mampani ever worry na omo worry baby omo worry o raise concern And I say, is there anything wrong if His Excellency the President, by virtue of who he is, invited 7 top guns and all of them show up for that Adena? Would there be anything wrong with it?
There is nothing wrong, say Omampenyi ebe oba. There is nothing wrong, say Omampenyi eba benyi na onusu awari. There is nothing wrong, say the normal traditional processes are any culture way awari huni yin. Omampenyi basu ebe nyebi. There is nothing wrong about that. But when we are being told, say, e-levy, any Ukraine, any Russia, intino, it was say a boy and I say we should tighten our belt and pay more for the use of the government. Now ubi soon. Now Omampenyi, I see that so I'm sure you've watched some of the videos from the earlier events. Yeah, omukoye for introduction. There's an introduction of a woman to a man, which was observed in a very elegant atmosphere. Yeah, a man for can once a man. Now there's an engagement. Now if you engagement, whom parties are a course through. Ne you not wedding any who no. I think say it is
All
a
these
bit
things have something to do with e-levy.
it's a bit too off on the face of Ghana. You see,
seen much more extravagant weddings by individuals in this country with e-levy in the system.
Not individuals, yes.
Yes, but
You see, I'm talking about the president of this
by
republic.
any means suggesting, say, states funds would have been used for a year?
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So
you see, this event is being hosted. At the seat of government, where government businesses take place. So, I mean, that government resources may be used. It's not, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm saying, say, it is insensitive. Say, in the face of all this economic hardship, and you are asking everybody to tighten their belt, such flamboyance, such elegance will be displayed at the seat of government. And I mentioned this and I mentioned e-levy.
But I've seen people who are crying more than Ghanaians that the economy is hard, and they are from the opposition side, throwing parties and going for big events in this country, and they are the ones who are crying that their times are hard.
They are going for what? They are going for parties.
Yes, and they are organizing parties.
They organize with their private packet, private money.
Yes.
I wouldn't have complained.
But that one is not an eyesore.
I wouldn't have complained.
It's not an eyesore to the ordinary Ghanaian. He is telling, say, times are hard.
When the individuals spend their money, so they will see a suit nice. Sika auditor suit, you know. It should be of concern to any Ghanaian.
Yes, it should be.
I am saying, say,
you're talking
a
about
party
how
has taken place.
You're talking about how it's an eyesore to the ordinary Ghanaian. When the person who stands with me on the street to say times are tough, that person within just a split second is wearing this suit you are talking about and driving an expensive car and passes me by. Should I believe him when he says that times are tough?
The times are tough.
Yeah, should I believe him?
Why not?
Why would I believe such a person?
Because when they say times are tough, it's a comparison. Okay, it's a comparison.
This is your comparison.
If anybody says times are tough, it's a comparison between one period and the other. And let me say, remember a friend saying, so that's when we end diverting our attention from the e-levy. I am telling you. No, the me can say.
You trap yourself.
The me can say. This act of flamboyance, elegance, has taken away from the president's or the government's cry for us to tighten our belt, because it's insensitive. If you organize settings at the seat of government, and you are talking about individuals doing their party and all that, this is not an individual I'm talking about. I'm talking about the president. So the president, and I'm talking about the party happening at the presidency.
So the president cannot organize a wedding for the daughter with all the years, 4 years of being in power, with all, Pacho, be with me, with the network His Excellency the President has, with the relationships he has established. We are saying,
as a matter of being a president.
Yes, as a matter of being a president. Yeah. The individual, the gentleman who is coming to marry the daughter, he hasn't got his own network. The father hasn't got his own network. The father hasn't got friends. The father hasn't got any relationship to merit a good wedding ceremony.
I said that what had happened at the presidency was a display of flamboyance and elegance, which does not commensurate with what government is telling us to do when it comes to e-levy. And I'm only saying that as a passing comment, just as I said about the e-levy, and so many other things government is doing to show something contrary to what they are asking us to do. So I'm saying, say, the e-levy is very unpopular among Ghanaians, perhaps including you and I. And it cannot be said, say, because Omambia yentua tuono, Omani intimi nkonenim, intino, chinchina, was say yetua tu, whether it is the tuono has been passed legally, whether it's been done appropriately or not, yentua. Omani abanye de tumi amano. So by say omufa every due process so na ekosi say was say omoji yetua. What can we say? We will allow them to do it. But so far as it is within the right of everyone to take processes to prevent it, I think it should be allowed. We don't need the likes of a majority leader to come and be throwing English words in our face, say it is too late in here. I don't think we are in a fascist state, unless they want us to believe they have turned this country into a fascist state.
Well, I don't think fascism is the way to go. And we are still in a democratic dispensation, and so fascism there, and yet idea will be able to for. Maybe say the second issue are KNUST issues and matters arising. You see 6,000 students per last Friday. Many a year woman paying for because some 3,000 students have had their fees, paid. One more deferment in the year reinstated one more. We take on it within 22 minutes. Yeah, we were 10 minutes. Yeah, we were 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, me amount 5 minutes out of that. So who decided so would you move 5 responding to David? I don't have a problem. Would you move 2 responding to David? I don't have a problem. But I'm giving you 5 minutes for the matter of KNUST.
That's freedom of speech. The OPBR within the 5 minutes.
Of course. First and foremost, e-levy started somewhere. The budget was presented somewhere in November, right? And so that was when e-levy came into the discourse. And so because of Ukraine.
Yeah, but how would you say what you good morning hiding? Because men sending a hi, men sending a hello, and I'm sending a morning devotion. It's a good morning I watch or Chami send me any day.
Well, what do you mean 30 seconds for this? Okay, you do a miss out. The sense of your hand into a miss out, watch your day. You are not entitled to say hi or good morning unless you are invited to.
The reason I follow.
Sometimes might be a your manner to send ye Sebu Nipambo bra Ewukrum has say. And this appears to be a certain your friends a line in Krofobibri na omota efa. Same enti sebi Ghana mampanyina wetwam Urakofo Ura Mahama and mampanyino tia kunja so. How much will it cost omuntimi nya wedding na ebeti omoma anim? Omampanyini, don't forget, say, apart from so, Omampanyini, or sounds a family man. And he said, Neba, ye fra, and a neba, warrior. Sebi you, Uncle High baby, no, na, say. It brings to bear this issue about, say, Obi a Mampanyina, na say, or campaigner, that we say, or campaigning, and he's using state resources. So long as the person is a president, you can't say go and rent a car or go and hire a car and go and do campaign. No.
But Imran is saying
we should not abuse the process. Yes. But my point is that are we saying say sebi we are mampanyini now te the state house no and ababi a oman no de ama setena no uba ware a anase untimi nyo bed untimi ndi ubede wo untimi enje oma ware wo. Some of these things, there are issues that anyway Same, with respect to KNUST, my dream when I'm asking say into yen our force so your responsibility in the say.
Okay.
And I say we assume say okay, me this kind of man. So the assumption is that Obeka could train the school fees because we are supposed to know say when you train school fees, you say be on your school ni. That probably might be the assumption of most parents, and I agree with that assumption. But again, as a way of checking, me papa panyini bi okuroma wa ho. Sometimes wait me I say oh yeah, J 1,000 Ghana cedi na farmer assume sini obenten. What do you? Ubeyo so referee dey be after 1 month echi no. Wa afro aka say oh san crofo na me ka say for ABC mo mo ma me numbers na me ni omo nkasa. Oh. It is a wanya then the person will get to know.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong for any parent. And I will phobia say would this come out baso nkutu ya school fees. Now what be say kwadwo last semester me ma say and because AK University in omutu school fees once a year. Unlike the private tertiary institutions omutu no every semester bia no. Government tertiary institutions. So I think the last time I paid for my nephew in Legon, it was about 4,000 or so. But I don't know to say akosro and I say enkosro.
Okay.
Internet once a year. Internet won't mean besides say kwadwo and I say kwaku. I'm sure your friend saying last level 100 school fees, level 200 school fees. To the sense school for maku and piminsia. And a school no so sabi almost much to this level.
Oh, to be fair, they sent messages across
to the
sent
students.
reminders across to the students as to their indebtedness to the school with respect to home fees.
And because probably the student knew that about here the politicians will get involved and then they will make the case a foolish case.
But there are genuine ones who have genuine concerns. I spoke to one on Friday. His story was beyond him.
Okay.
What I say? There are genuine cases in there. For me, I have a challenge with the generalization. So, if mudi music topano and if mudi music
no correct.
Yes, but if you have 6,000
I just want to know. Say,
so far, what we haven't asked for as journalists from the PRO of the KNUST is to provide the evidence of the number of people supposedly engaged in this. But the generalization and the picture on there 2 years so KNUST students bet omo echa omo ye Uber omo topano. If you have 6,000 students and let's say even 50 of them are doing this, how do you generalize this?
That's a business. So out of the business, something must come out of it. But whatever it is, of course, I mean, this shouldn't have been an issue to engage.
For me, it was below the belt for the school's administration to have made a case of because I need this kind of extra bets on this kind of. There's a way of communicating this.
But maybe I can force it, and so
but
it could be say this is the way to stop the student from engaging in your friends a soccer bet. And it's any manner sa bet na.
Problem
Oh, okay. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so betting na abaso amrante no na emabawa no. It's something that borders the school authorities. And the things by this action it will be a way to let the student know say Charlie, I mean the parents will now come because I'm sure with this will be an back home be no. Only about friend better say din komo. So to some extent good. Sometimes with me akase ebi asa ni ngwase nkitinkiti we no eye kakra just to be a guide for everybody to be on your friends on the lookout.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, me gidi say awofo dodo na ejina awofo so. Say o de sika sharp friends because and that's what most parents do. Ono onya kwan afi na okakwe kwadwo je na kokko to school fees no. You need to demand receipt of sikana de amano any fees na wakwa kutua no obisa bibia because oye school ni in the course of it obebi sa asem say oh da me hia na say offer me hia ska kwa koto sa book we na say me hia sa the way so maybe the way out of it is okay let me have the receipt of the previous ones na we koto ye no oh but ya anya sa na ye tenasia kokodo this level me gidi say enya ade a eboa and politicians to I beg them they should move out of this.
Oh, but are you expecting the Minister of Education not to interfere in this matter or to intervene in this matter? Or His Excellency the President not to show interest in this matter? Or any other politician for that matter not to show interest in? For me, it's
then in the end, you know.
You differ akwadano. Final year student will be school no.
You see, in the end, you know, Same, we are trying to build a society here. So we should build a disciplined society. What you say?
Yeah.
And you know, you can say, or baby we school, and you know, or they enyefe you betia. Some say, yeah, sir, enyefe, no, and I'm on my Ghana, about be do baby address.
I don't think so. I'm saying say enyefe.
No, but you said the involvement of the political class, or the Minister of Education, they want to intervene. You will get ranking members on education, former ministers of education, all trying to say something. For instance, I mean, Honorable Blackwell was a bit harsh on the KNUST authorities, was appealing to the Ministry of Education or Ghana Ministry of Education to intervene in the situation. But my point is that because, and that is the problem we have as a nation. Sebi obiakwa kwadi ni nse nhunu no. Na wakwakofa NDC atare and wakwakofa MPP atare ashe. And then you have them come on board instead of us to deal with the substance of sebi sanse nhunu na wakwakwadi no. Because only so the moment you be at the NDC MPP no, naturally no, it affect your friends say the body na wakwakwadi no to his advantage. It is I say ya careful sa enye oh omo ya nkwala say ni no it is time ye be chro mo say sebi o ye de sika mo asafa koye a wo de ye a we school ni you can invest in you can use your school fees to do business but you should know say there's a general purpose for the money until ever say all this kana kwa kwhye your friend say pan o tu mu wo de akwa kwhye bu say mfa so e ba so a you pay. And there are so many ways of paying school fees. I mean, oko ebia school fees, you know, oga say to about 80%, and send away to natural exams. So I mean, school authorities no me any party say ya. Oko principal say ni enti me papa say ye papa chow say enti no my emre kakra. Omo ye human beings. Ebia say ni pass 6,000, there could be more. But those who have engaged the school authorities, you know, were exempted. But the point is that some sebi mbofra di bone ana so bi di bone asotwe a ese de ma no yemfa sa asotwe ma na enye enhyensodo ma omo ba no. But for the political class to intervene and then begin to descend on KNUST authorities for making or taking this decision, it means sebi ye nko ba bia. Because it will come back, we'll have the same thing in future, and then this will be a test case. Oh, but when it happened, these were the interventions. So see, if I say a CNPP in Bresso, it's that she made a cocoa see what NDC in Bresso, for instance, school for no Bohoka say, and I'm sure the TESCOM and the TAI, they say about when it happened in our time, our people dealt with it. You about even political campaign among these two your friends and political groups on campus. But I say so. Enya me anka say enye ena wo for no so ya na muntu ese to demand say yedi ebia wan unya kwan wote nkran wote takrade unya kwan enko kumase enko nkotua school fees and I say bia unya kwan enko bank enko bank transfer to get your friends a receipt and everything. Now why mobile money dey am abofra na say this kana sha abofra na say corner kotua school fees no sebi eja ena demand the receipt. It is the only way that nkwala be accountable. Because if at this time you have accountability and show mumu, you can say, "Odo the answer this kana mano." No, wakwa kutua school. You assume say wakwa kutua school fees. What the man ya wada you demand say be a latest by Monday, and you need a receipt, so that nkwala be also responsibility be. By anya na sa no mo discarding edin say hu na so ni all level 400 oba be we school sabi o obi na kuma ntwi bo ase akọ na odi chi akọja achirema because e discard ma say kokotua wan kwan kotua de akwa kodin say hu no na say affect your friends saying completion then you want to come out and cry. And then because it's a Ghana for you and that's what will happen. And that is what is killing us. A beka krana man for edins say hunu. Sanko for where they will come out and then become others.
And I'm saying good news kakra PM Dave. When we say on my extended deadline to 28th of May.
Shami?
Yeah.
I think public relation officer no. Why here they pass why in Semnipi no. I was going to ask if they have any relationship, the school no our relationship with the parents of these students, particularly when he admitted say most of Nkola mobile schools say no, most of them are not very matured. They are some are far below 18 years old.
Yeah.
And we all know decision taking among these people. So I was going to ask you, say, and you be a relationship be or school no any guardians and I say I will for no yanti things like paying school fees no. These notifications are going to this because these kids are not supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So if somebody is paying the money, there should be a relationship between them and the payer, and another relationship between them and the students. I think that if they can factor this out, it could help in avoiding school fees being used for this. But I, like I said, I felt a little scandalized the way the narrative was going that students were using their fees to engage in betting and engage in businesses and all that. Look, first to start with from the betting side, we all know, like the PRO said, that it has become
the order of the day.
The order of the day everywhere. The young people are engaged in betting without any control. And that is worrying. What is the state doing about it? What are these schools who are mentoring these young people doing about it? It is a matter of concern. If there's some education activity going on in the schools to get them to understand this as part of their education, that the betting is not a way to go.
Yeah.
Now, for those who are, and everybody is just lumping it on them, and that's where my worry is. That's how I felt scandalized anyway. Because, I mean, these are young people. Everybody is throwing the problem to them. Look, they are not the problem. The problem is bigger than this.
Yeah.
If I should dovetail a little into e-levy, look, I know parents, you know, some are doing Uber. Parents who are doing Uber.
Yeah.
Parents who are selling at Kantamantu. Their children have made it up to the university level. And at the university level, if they are paying fees, say they are paying a fee of 5,000 a year for an Uber driver whose monthly income is sometimes less than 1,000 cedis. Aside small things he may be making around alongside.
Yeah.
Let's put his income at the end of a month to about 2,000 cedis. Okay, he is going to take care of the house if unfortunately the woman is also not engaging in an activity that would bring more revenue, enhance their revenue. So let's say for the household, let's even assume that they are making about 5,000 and they have children who are in the university, even if it's one child. How is he going to raise that amount of money to pay fees? Yes, I've heard him say that they have offered scholarship to the needy but brilliant students. They are needy but brilliant students. We don't know the criteria. But I know people in the universities whose parents can hardly afford money to pay their fees. Sometimes we all try to contribute here and there.
Yeah.
There are those genuine concerns. And like I said, I don't know the criteria they use, but it is not also surprising that there are people who genuinely cannot pay.
True.
We are also aware that there are a lot of students out there, outside the country, who are being funded by Get Fund money to school. A student is paying no less than, the state is spending no less than £2,000 on some of them. So if you break down this £2,000, you can tell me how many students who are going to benefit from this at the universities. I think that it's about time. This is not an issue we do NDC MPP with. This is our future. It's about time we sit down properly and we get through this. Just as they're discussing about free education, free SHS when, we can, you know, take education more seriously.
Okay.
Look at it from the very basic of it to the universities. How possible, I mean, it is that some people may not be able to pay their fees, and how the state can come in, rather than we necessarily investing in courses that are done outside, which could have been done here. You know, we could invest our funds into these students and make our educational system more beneficial to our future, which are the students we have. So I don't think that it is fair at all to lump it on these students that they look. How many people complete school and are able to even do business? There are people who cannot. If you give them 10 cedis, they can't do any business with it. So if we even have students who are engaging in business, to some extent, there's some positive news in there. Let's explore how best, you know, we can help them to build on, if it's an innovation or anything, to build on it. People.
All right, Dave, this one I'm sorry.
And thank you for not letting me finish my five minutes.
Easy.
I thank you at least.
Easy. Anyway, what do you want to thank me? Yeah, I can't go me. Like I say, no, my kasa, and then see, and the dictators is been starting. Anyway, yeah. What's your planning? What is your extended deadline to 20th? I'm hoping that they will live by it and then help these students to complete their course. Final year, and I say, Becca just said if and worship.
Good news. And assemble okay, when you wanted to make further inquisition, I said we should all be real and face the facts. I mean, betting, unfortunately, especially when you know that potentially Cristiano Ronaldo will score a goal, everybody will bet on him. When you know that Manchester will lose the next match, everybody will bet. When you know that your friends say Benzema will score in the next chapter.
That's a wrong education. Not everybody will do that because it's not good.
For people who do those things, I'm the ones I'm referring to. You know, as much as we can. That's how. We cannot pretend. And you know, like the man said, you more modern, proper education. And then make sure the right things are done. When we are a journal discuss, come out by so go to your school fees here. Make sure within 3 days now the mama no when you receipt.
All right.
Now Ilevia be the bed in cry because one farmer more bet you are 1.50.
Say ya na.
Obi a ware kra.
Ya me pa o chira.
Obi a ware kra o se koto.
Ya me po chebe.
Obi a ware kra. Obi a na o kra na ye den no kra wa kwa koto ayo.
O se koto.
Na o se koto.
You should have po chane to comedy so.